Good afternoon, friends. One sober to another here. I'm Wayne, and I'm an alcoholic. Today's daily reflection for 25 November 2020, a powerful tradition. Let's go. All right, friends, if you're new to the channel, take a chance to subscribe if you haven't done so you don't miss out on the daily reflections, as well as every week I try to post a video that has something to do with my journey in recovery. It's worth the listen if you want to hear about my experiences and how they might help you on your journey. So, without further ado, we're going to jump into the daily reflections right after I flip back and thank the people who have subscribed so far. I appreciate the support, and I'll just keep making these as long as you tell me to. When you tell me stop, I don't think I will, but I'll take it under consideration. Here we go. In the years before the publication of the book, Alcoholics Anonymous, we had no name. By a narrow majority, the verdict was for naming the book The Way Out. One of our early lone members found exactly 12 books already titled The Way Out. So Alcoholics Anonymous became first choice. That's how we got the name for our book of experience. A name for a movement, as we are now beginning to see, a tradition of the greatest spiritual import. AA tradition, how it developed, page 35 and 36. I'll put a link for that in the description below. Beginning with Bill's momentous decision in Akron to make a telephone call rather than a visit to the hotel bar, how often has a higher power made itself felt at crucial moments in our history? The eventual importance of the principle of anonymity would acquire was but dimly perceived, if at all, in those early days. There seems to have been an element of chance even in the choice of a name for our fellowship. God is no stranger to anonymity and often appears in human affairs in the guises of luck, chance, or coincidence. If anonymity, somewhat fortuitous, became the spiritual basis for all of our traditions, perhaps God was acting anonymously on our behalf. Well, that's a lot of words to digest, and the reason why I took my time to do so is because, for a very long time, I did not understand anonymous. Matter of fact, I posted about anonymous today on my Instagram and Reddit. Now, I posted in a different manner because as it applies to this, God is not always someone's idea that comes to mind as far as, a higher power or a different choice or, something that is moving in your life to make you better. God often appears as, oh, wow, that was lucky. This is my lucky day. Oh, crap, I want a PS5. Man, that's a lucky day. Or, wow, I got a little bonus on my paycheck and I could pay my rent. That's awesome. Coincidences, chances, and luck are the ways that sometimes our higher power projects itself. What I wrote about today was I'm able to come on this channel here, One Sober to Another, and with zero anonymity, tell you about myself, my experiences, and even, hopefully more in the future, but even share someone else's experience, because I think that's invaluable to someone else's recovery. It mentions in here how, Bill called a hotel instead of, going to it, a hotel bar. And he did it anonymously and was able to talk to the person that he meant to speak with. And if you get into Dr. Bob and Bill W.'s stories, you'll be able to read more about that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to post the link below for it, so that way you can take a look for yourself. I may be rambling a little bit, but I just wanted to move it to the fact that, how I used my anonymity when I first became sober is, I had to go to mandated meetings, and I had to go to those meetings 3 times a week during the week, and then I also had to go on the weekend. I couldn't just straight up tell every single person that, I had to abandon that I was going to an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, because truly it was none of their business what I was doing. And as a part of the conditions for the program that I was in, I had to be there, and I was an instructor at the time. And so I would simply just tell my primary instructor or assistant instructor, whatever the case was for that day, that I had an appointment to go to. Only the people who really needed to know knew that I was going to Alcoholics Anonymous and knew that I was going to, substance abuse appointments. No one else really needed to know. And so that's where it laid for me. And the same could go for you. You don't have to blatantly just come out and tell people that you're an alcoholic and you're going to an AA meeting so you can take your daily medicine and get better without the alcohol. You don't have to do that. Really, if there is a certain person that needs to know, that's when it would become, that word vomit. That's when it would become critical for that one person or 2 people to know, without you having to spill your guts to every random person that doesn't need to know anything about why you're going to a meeting or whatever, because it's not their business. And for a lot of us, when we are getting sober, and I'm not preaching by any means, I'm not preaching, and if you feel like I am, just drop it in the comments below and I'll curb my enthusiasm, whatever. You don't have to tell every random person, because they don't need to know. They don't spill everything to you, and therefore, for you to get better in early sobriety, perhaps it's better that you're not just telling everybody that, so that you don't feel that insecurity or the apprehensiveness of going to Alcoholics Anonymous. That is the beauty of it. You don't roll into Alcoholics Anonymous and say, hey, my name is Wayne Dornboss, and I've been an alcoholic for 19 years, and these are all the word vomits that I've done. You can save that for that one sponsor that you trust. So if you've never experienced going to Alcoholics Anonymous, just know there was a lot of times that people have gone and they were scared to come back because they thought that somebody would find out. They thought that somebody they worked with would find out, especially in the communities that I was living in. I was living in Army communities, and they're very small. And there was opportunity for someone to find out what you're doing almost all the time, because that's kind of how it was designed for, kind of living in a glass house. So if these people felt apprehensive about going to Alcoholics Anonymous, and they didn't want to tell their supervisor that they were going to an AA meeting because they had fear that, their supervisor would lose faith in them because they're an alcoholic, they wouldn't go. And they might not come back, and they may have lost out on that opportunity to find the sobriety and find the camaraderie within the Alcoholics Anonymous community that could possibly benefit them. And if I'm rambling, I'm sorry, but this is kind of the way that I feel about it, and this is the daily reflections for me, and that's kind of the way I share it. It's a powerful tradition of Alcoholics Anonymous to be anonymous, and if we just simply embrace that factor and we don't go around word vomiting every single thing that we're doing with Alcoholics Anonymous, if you are going, and if you're not and you want to check it out and you're kind of scared, this might help you understand a little more about what it is. And I think I've rambled enough, maybe. Anyway, so that's food for thought, and I hope that you keep watching this channel because it is growing and I need your support, people. I do have masks available. I have 8 masks available that I made that are one sober to another. I will definitely wear that. on the daily reflections tomorrow morning so you can see it. And if you want to get your hands on one, I will definitely tell you how to do it. One sober to another, folks. Life's a garden. Dig it. I'm going to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.